Hello captains, and welcome to the stream. My name is Serge, Pilot Club 6, and this morning we're doing a TPC Charters Airline flight with service to Greer, South Carolina. The airport is Greenville. Got 70 passengers on the manifest, 2,700 pounds of cargo, so we're very light this morning. Joe, welcome to the stream. And we got our TPC Flight School mug, thanks to Elliot. So we do have our coffee this morning, and we're happy about that. This flight is on VATSIM, just like every flight that we do here. And yeah, so here we are. So we flew to Grand Rapids, Michigan yesterday. Here's our route. For today's flight, no SID, Class Delta Airport, and we do have an arrival into Greer. Let's take a look here where we are on the ground. At the terminal here, where we left aircraft yesterday. Farmer Tech 51, welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining, appreciate it. So we'll go ahead and jump into the flight deck here of our beautiful Airbus A320neo with TPC livery. See, we got our TPC coffee cup, and we got it right here. Alright, slight modifications to the stream overlays this morning. I added a little flight information text right there, just so that folks can see what flight we're doing, the departure destination and call sign and such. Alright, so we'll go ahead and, as always, ensure first that the aircraft is able to receive power. Alright, that's looking good. Let me reset my head tracker. I think we're a little too far. Yeah, it should be this. Yep, so there we go. Everything's good here. Okay, good. And good on the overhead. Alright, so we are ready to go. Turn battery 1 and 2. And we'll accept external power. We'll continue with our overhead setup. Nope, we don't need taxi lights, nav logo, strobes. And we're doing this with my own kind of workflows. There's an official workflow process for this, but and maybe I'll show you one day, but we're kind of doing a little bit of a simplified thing here. Alright, so here's our flight. So we have our departure destination. Our alternate is Charlotte. Cost index 33. Oh, by the way, our flight this morning is scheduled for 1 hour and 31 minutes. This distance is 533 miles. We do have a slight tailwind, which we always welcome. Alright, so we'll go ahead and get our services here connected. Jet bridge, baggage, and catering. It's a beautiful morning here in Grand Rapids. Take a look at the weather here. VFR conditions, great visibility, clear sky, beautiful weather to fly, guys. Thank you for popping in. Thank you for joining us on this flight. All right, so we'll go ahead and request fuel. Okay, so it It already connected it, so there was an update for the fly-by-wire A320neo. I updated it this morning, and I think now it just automatically links it, so you don't have to request it. And then here we go, we'll start refueling. Let's look at our payload. Yep, same thing here. There's no button now to request it here. Once you connect your SimBrief account and request the flight, it automatically fills it in, which is great. Alright, so we'll do real time. It's very empty flight this morning, 70 passengers, and we'll begin boarding. Yeah, it looks like they started boarding here. Very good, so we'll go into the flight deck. We'll continue with our setup. Let me go to make sure we have our correct database, correct engines. Everything's looking good. I'm looking for aircraft data. Where is that? Is that in ATSU? Alright, well, we'll go to AOC first and we'll initialize. Send our request. Alright, we're good to go. As you can see, we're fueling up. Again, en route time is 01:29. ForeFlight gives us 1:31, close enough. We will go back to actually nope, we'll go back to ATSU AOC. Let's get those messages. Wait, did I not request the weather? Oh, you know what, I'm all out of order here. Okay, let's get our flight request. Okay, here we go. Call sign TPC6, Pilot Club 6, alternate Charlotte. Everything's looking good. Let's get our winds and temperatures. Alright, that is looking good. Now we go back to ATSU. See, I didn't have enough coffee this morning. Weather request. Everything's filled in here. We'll just send it. We'll go back to received messages, and this one on the ground gets in pretty quickly. So here's our METAR. We'll print it. Bam, got it just like that. Let's go take a look. 3009 is our altimeter, so 3009. Same on the backup. It's looking good. We are on Unicom. No ATC, so we'll be on 122.8. And by the way, let's look at our transponder code that we got. It is 2225. So 2225, and we'll go to auto. That is looking good. Jump back in here, flight plan. Start looking at what we're going to depart here. Looks like 8 right is the favorite runway for departure here. So we go 8 right. No SIDS or stars. We'll insert that, and then we'll put KGRR-08 right in here for our engine out emergency. Get back to flight plan, and let's see here. In GSP, let's consult our trusty ForeFlight. Looks like runway 4 is what we're getting. Let me look at Yep, there's ILS 4 on that, so runway 4 is what we'll take. Now we are going to be on Rector 2 with Hillary transition. Let me look at our ILS 4 approach with SPA. Nope, I don't think we're going to take SPA. Alright, no VIA, and our transition here is DAGP. Okay, that's a weird one. Alright, insert that. We can get rid of that on the iPad and put our ILS 4 approach plate there. Make sure we get traffic here from VATSIM. I don't think anybody's flying around here right now. All right, so we're good with that. So our first fix is APE, which is the Appleton VOR. So we see that there. We can go ahead and delete this discontinuity. Back to departure airport here, departing 8 right, 087 is the heading. So 087. That's looking good. Since there's no initial altitude, we'll dial in our cruise altitude of 37,000 feet. That is looking fantastic right now. Okay, bam. Whoa, what's happened here? We got some ice. All right, thank you, First Officer, for this wonderful announcement. All right, we're getting rid of that ice. Had to turn on the window heat. All right, we got our APU going. We put our seatbelt signs on. And we'll go ahead and request our tug. All right, sweet. So we're good to go here. We're getting the tug connected now. Let's look at our taxi. So 8 right. It's going to be Mike Delta. We will push tail left. That looks good. We can go ahead and throw our beacon light on.
Flight attendants, arm doors, and cross check.
And let's go back here and turn APU bleed on. And we will disconnect external power. Yep, we didn't do our walk around, so let's quickly do that. Yeah, we should have done this earlier, but first officer was too busy. I'll just do a quick one. Amazing looking aircraft, guys. Absolutely amazing. Alright, don't get into there. Alright, cool. Alright, so we are done with our walk around. That's great. I think we'll need to go back here, go to init B, get our block fuel here, which is 14.8. 14.8. Oh, it's in there, sorry. Yep, let's see. Okay, why is that not allowed? Okay, let's try that. There we go. Got our zero fuel weight CG. Okay, we got some extra fuel here, good to go. Yep, that's looking good. We'll leave the cost index at this. It's okay. Alright, let's go to performance. So we'll do a Flaps 1 performance. It'll be toga. And we'll get our V speeds. So V1, 124. Rotate's going to be 125. And V2 is going to be 129. Perfect, that looks good. I think we're all set here. Yep, so we'll depart runway heading and then right turn to, we can't see it here, but I think it'll be okay. Alright, APU bleed is good. Good, everything's good to go. Let me quickly brief the cabin crew. I'll be right back. Alright, we are back. Completed our cabin crew briefing. A little bit out of sequence here, but that's alright. And my friend Greg is asking a question about our speed brakes binding. So let me help him right quick with control options. We go to the throttles. Surge by input. Let's see, can we pick that up? That's a button, so I think it's axis is what we got it set up as. Let's see, spoilers. Yep, so Greg, this is what I got speed brake set up as: spoilers axis, joystick R, axis Zulu, and that'll give you 4 positions on the Thrustmaster throttle. Alright, we go back, we'll resume. So I hope that helps. Let's jump back in the flight deck. We are ready to push. So we'll go ahead and release the parking brake. We already have the beacon on. And we'll go ahead and push backwards. Alright, sweet. So clear to start engine 2. Alright, and we'll go ahead. Is there anything, something behind us? No, we're okay, so we can go ahead and turn left. Yep, we'll pause here and set our parking brake. Alright, engine 2 is available, starting engine 1. If you're just joining the stream, welcome. We are doing TPC Charter's Airline flight with service to Greer, South Carolina, with 70 passengers and 2,772 pounds of cargo. Very light flight this morning. Weather conditions are excellent. I'm excited to flight this flight. Short flight, an hour and a half. No problems. Yeah, I feel like I'm forgetting something. What am I forgetting? I think we're okay. All right. Normal mode. We can release the tug. Let's go here, set up our charts right quick. So here we just need the taxi chart. And then at Greenville, we will need our arrival, which is Rector 2. we will need our approach, which is ILS 4, and we'll need our taxi. Let's see here. Yep, that's the one. Alright, let's pull up our taxi chart here. Looking good. So, like I said, our taxi is going to be Mike Delta. Let me see here. Where's Mike? Okay, so we'll make the sharp right turn here on Mike. No problem. We'll turn our weather radar on. And we can turn off APU bleed, and turn off APU, and turn off window heat. It's on auto. Now that we have the engine started, taxi light on, and let me do our flight control check. I like doing it this way here. Full left, full right, neutral, full up, full down, neutral. Let's test our speed brakes. So here are speed brakes. Alright, looks good. Can't see things from here, can we? Alright, that looks good. And we will release our parking brake and start our taxi. Grand Rapids traffic, Airbus Pilot Club 6, taxiing to runway 8 right via Mike Delta, Grand Rapids. We'll make that sharp turn, a bit of power. Alright, what's this vehicle doing? You know what? Let me pause here momentarily. I almost forgot. See if it's gonna let us do that now. Benjamin. Okay. Alright, stand by. We got a bit of a problem here. McCoy. Okay, so I think we need to... why they're not available. Okay, so I tell you what, let me get something going here. 1 second. Let's set parking brake. Yeah, I totally forgot to start the tracker here again. Alright, so let me get... let's get Patrick here. Yeah, I guess my crew is resting. It's the thing with TPC charters, uses on-air airline manager, so you do need to have proper cabin crew and co-pilot. Alright, so we got Patrick. Let's see, is it gonna let us do that? Yep, we're good to go. We'll start tracking here.
Your flight will be monitored until we land and shut down the engines.
Alright, good. So we'll continue our taxi now. Whew, I'm glad we remembered to do that. Okay, what's this truck doing? Alright, so we're making a right on Delta. Delta is the first one, so we're making that right. Man, all these vehicles are here. It's, crazy. 's 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 crazy all over the place. Alright, we go flaps 1. We'll engage our arm our spoilers rather. Alright, auto brake to max. Let's do TO config test, normal. Pay attention to the taxi now. And we'll ding our cabin. Alright, we're all green here, good to go. So we'll go ahead to Delta 2, and then we'll make a left on to 8 right. Alright, we'll stop here for a second. Let's get our overhead set up here. Okay, landing lights on. Packs off. Let's throw some anti-ice on. Yes, -4, it's cold here. Grand Rapids traffic. Airbus Pilot Club 6 taking runway 8 right for an IFR departure to the southeast. Grand Rapids. Alright, we go back here, TARA, or TCAS to TARA. Alright, here we go.
Approaching runway 08 right. Entered runway 08 right. 9,900 feet remaining.
And I was watching the video yesterday about the importance of not lining up exactly on the center line. There was a accident investigation. This is a while back. All right, so, well, we've accomplished that, so here we go. Stabilized. Mantoga, SRS, runway, auto thrust blue. V1, rotate. Yeah, that didn't take long at all. Alright, positive rate, gear up. Runway track. Climb thrust, flap 0. And we'll engage AP1. Check nav. Checked. Making that right turn. And we'll turn packs back on. Climb mode. All right, very nice departure out of Grand Rapids. Let's get our vertical profile going here for you guys. I really like this view. Thank you to the first officer for setting up those cams. Now let us go to the MCDU, get our flight plan. Looking good. Now let me go back here to program. We'll go KGSP 04. Yep, should have plenty of fuel. And I think let's change our cost index to maybe 65 here. Give us a little bit more juice. If you're just joining the stream, welcome. We just departed Grand Rapids, Michigan, and we are on the way to Greer, South Carolina, Greenville, Spartanburg Airport, with 70 passengers on board and a little bit of cargo. Let's take a look at our payload here. So we got plenty of empty seats here. Everybody should be comfortable. All is well. So we don't need our taxi chart anymore. We'll load up our next chart that we're gonna need, which is the star coming into Greer. Okay, we'll go ahead and set QNH to standard, as well as on our standby instrument. I think we can turn off our anti-ice. It says ice not detected, so we'll go ahead and do that. Yep, certainly turn off the landing lights. Should have done that a long time ago. And seatbelt signs. Looks like it's smooth. I gotta tell you, I love flying this bird. It's very good. Let me talk about a little bit about a few cool features of this TPC livery. So it was done by our livery designer in the Pilot Club. His name is Jen. He did a fantastic job on it. Let's go look outside. Yeah, isn't that amazing looking? I think that looks fantastic. Let's look from the other side. Yeah, absolutely amazing. I like that it doesn't look like it's brand new. It's got some wear and tear marks, right? But one of the cool things here with the special mod, we have a privacy sticker here, so company can't spy on us in the cockpit, right? Just something fun and extra on this one. And then of course we have our trusty first officer that really doesn't do anything, our cat Pumpkin, and that's the picture here I have on my hat until I get the TPC hat. But we have the TPC mug, so again, thanks to Elliot. We've got our coffee, probably gonna need another cup soon. Alright, so again, our cruise today is 37,000 feet, so we're getting there. Put the iPad back on for you guys with 4 flights, so we're making progress on our climb. Really enjoying flying this fly-by-wire. I do have the Phoenix also, but I do prefer the fly-by-wire. I don't know why. There are a few quirks and things on the Phoenix 320, and I really don't care if it's the Neo or the regular 320. I really don't care that much about the engine variants, but a few things I don't like on the Phoenix, but obviously there are a few shortcomings here on the fly-by-wire as well. For example, you can't do the RNAV approaches with vertical guidance, so you can have lateral guidance and do those that way, but vertical guidance you have to do on your own, or vertical navigation rather. Let's see what else. The screens aren't split. Let me see here. Yep, so they're mirrored. You don't get the load sheets through the MCDU. No missed approaches are in the MCDU yet, but even with all that, still overall it is fantastic aircraft. Just a pleasure to fly, really. Let's see if we can jump out for a showcase view. Look at that. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Here we are. Look at that. It's pretty sweet. Absolutely amazing. What a view. You know, I started my flight sim hobby maybe 20 years ago, and let me tell you, the sims that we had back then, boy oh boy. I need to post some pictures from my early flight sim days, maybe post it in Pilot Club Discord. Anyways, what we got now is quite amazing. Just amazing, guys. Alright, so we'll go back into the flight deck. And it looks like we're passing 34,000 feet. Alright, all is well. Yep. And once we reach cruise, we can relax a little bit, and I'll go chat with the cabin crew, see what's new in their world. Now look at those clouds. This looks very realistic to me, I'll be honest with you. Very realistic. Maybe not as much here, but still not bad. Okie dokie. How we doing? 35? 36? Yep, so 1,000 to go. Should be showing our climb here. Yep, there it is. A little bit, I guess. Good, and we got altitude star. We'll let first officer make a cabin announcement soon. Alright, sweet. So we've reached our cruise. So let me go ahead and Now let's go to this view. Yeah, this is nice looking. Yep, so let me go ahead and chat with the cabin crew and I'll be right back. See you soon. All right, back on flight deck. Everything's looking good. Good neighborhood. We just made our turn there to our next fix. Double check that speed. That is correct. We're making progress. Still no ATC. We're still on Unicom. So very good. Cruising along. Let's start looking at our weather at destination. So here's our METAR here, updated 33 minutes ago. Winds are 30 at 14, gusting to 3. Good visibility, clear skies. Temperature 7 degrees Celsius. Altimeter is 2983. It's a little early, but we'll go ahead and put that in our performance so we kind of start tracking it and looking at the changes. So 30 at 14 is our wind. Temperature is 7. Our QNH is 2983. 2983. Let's take a look at our minimum altitude for this approach here that we're planning. ILS 4. It is 1147. So 1,147 feet. We'll put that in there. Alright, so we're set up with that. Let's go back here, make sure we're still good for that approach. Yep, 4 looks good. If we go here, we'll have straight headwind on this approach here. Let's go ahead and do our landing calculator again. A little early, but it's okay. Let's get our elevation for 947. Our runway heading excuse me, is 038. Check 04. Okay, runway conditions we'll put as good. Runway slope is 0.21. Our LDA is 11,000 feet. Our approach speed, which we should have checked here, is 124. 124. And let's look at our estimated landing weight. If everything's computed correctly, it should be 120,000. That looks good. Let's do without reverse thrust. Looks good. Okay, so we're good with low brakes. I think this is a good time for us to take a look at our arrival chart. And we'll confirm here with our map. So DADGP, we're coming in here. We should expect 11,000 and speed 250 at Lovett. Now these expect restrictions aren't really restrictions. If we had ATC, they would give it to us, but we'll go ahead and simulate that they gave it to us, and we'll put that in. So let's see, Levitt, we'll put that at 11,000. And we'll put, what was the speed there? 250. Yep, 250. So we'll put that in. 250, 11,000 at Lovett. And then Rectors expect 7,000. So we'll put that in, 7,000. Alright, good to go. Same speed, 250. Okay, to Unman. Unman is our final approach fix. Or I'm sorry, not final approach fix, but last fix on the arrival. So we'll go ahead and delete this. And delete the discontinuity. And then it's putting us to Aksabi. So we'll look at our approach chart here. Aksabi, perfect. We should be above 3,000 at that. So we'll go ahead and dial in our bottom altitude here of 3,000. Unless the ATC comes on and tells us something else. Alright, and looks like we have the corporate pilot dad popping in the stream, so we'll chat with him on voice. Oh, wrong button. So let us check our tracker here, make sure we're good to go here. Yep, no problems. And let us go to our Discord and we'll jump in a call. Let's see if the corporate pilot dad will answer. Now we'll just hang in there, see if he joins us. Alright, so let's take a look how we're going to be coming in. So from Unman, we'll just join the left downwind for 04 essentially. So that's how it's going to be. We'll vector ourselves in over Greenville downtown airport. And then we'll make left base and vectors to final. We'll intercept 04 localizer. That's what we're going to do. I'm gonna butcher this name here, so my apologies for that. But Joko Ghost, good morning. Thanks for popping in the stream. We're doing a flight to Greer, South Carolina. This is TPC Charters Airline flight. We departed Grand Rapids about 40 minutes ago. We got about 30 minutes to go of the flight, so thanks for joining. We're at 37,000 feet, and we're making progress here. We'll see if the corporate pilot dad will join us. I think he's in the cabin as one of the passengers flying this flight, so we shall see. Ramdali, welcome to the stream, sir. Watching from Nepal. How about that? That is amazing. I hope you're enjoying the stream. Let me give you a nice view to take a look at here. Look at that view. Absolutely fantastic, right? Nepal, what a great place. A couple of years ago, I had an idea with a friend to do the Everest base camp track in Nepal. We ended up not doing it, but that's something on my list. I would love to do the base track to Everest base camp, or the track to Everest base camp. That would be fantastic. Nepal is such a great country. I mean, beautiful views, really nice people too, so that's awesome. Ha! Corporate pilot dad is in America. He is in the stream, ladies and gentlemen, and he says hello. Well, he said it in Spanish actually, but that's all right. So Tim, yeah, if you want to join us, I got the live call going with you through DMs. If you want to do a quick test. Let me see if we're still there. No, let me call you again. That's a cabin call for corporate pilot dad who's in the cabin, in the flight with us. Tim, you with us?
Yes, I am.
Excellent. Great to hear from you. Thank you for popping in this morning. I know you're busy. We certainly appreciate that, and I hope you can hear me.
I can, not very well, but I can.
Oh.
How do I sound on your end?
Well, you sound great. You sound fantastic. I don't know what it is with my mic, but I got it set up for the stream and for ATC also. So maybe you're not. Maybe you can pump up the volume.
You're in an airplane with the windows open.
Okay. How about this? Is this better?
A little bit.
Little bit, yeah. It's the wind, man. You know, it goes over the aircraft. I mean, I think you fly in real life. You should be familiar.
Yeah. It actually does get quite loud inside the cockpit of a jet. You wouldn't think so, but I use the Bose A20 noise canceling headset, and when you take the headset off, it is loud. You hear so much wind noise, and that's one thing that Microsoft Flight Simulator does not simulate.
Yeah. You know what? I don't know if you're watching the stream, but this aircraft here from Flight by Wire has this cool option here on the EFB, which lets you control the wind interior volume. So we got that set to 40, and I can pump it up, and it's really loud now.
Yeah, I am watching the stream. I have it on mute though, because otherwise I get
You're delayed,
echo
yeah.
because there's a delay in the stream versus the audio
Yep,
over
yep.
Discord.
I got you. Well, listen, we appreciate you popping in. I know we were talking yesterday, and we want to do something, some sort of interview. I know there are a lot of people who are interested in hearing about your experiences as a pilot in the real world, and we have a lot of flight simmers in the pilot club who would love to hear from you and pick your brain about things and learn from you. So, but we appreciate you popping in. You got your cup of coffee this morning, or?
I do. I'm on coffee number 3. I'm catching up to you probably.
No, this is my second cup. Unlike yesterday where I did like 4.
Yeah, I'm gonna end up doing 4 today. It's one of those days.
I hear you. Well, it is a Monday, so not even sure why we're flying on a Monday, but here we are.
Because you can.
Because I can, yeah. Yes,
So you
sir.
gotta give me a hint. You have a list of questions. We've been wanting to do this interview for about 2 years. We've been talking about it for 2 years. Give me a couple questions that we can do right now. Do you have any off the top of your head or written down?
Yep, let me look it up. I definitely have a bunch of questions that I'd like to ask, but let's do a couple quickly now. I think I have, let me look at my progress here. We got a little bit of time here. We got about 80 miles till the top of descent. So
real quick, where are you flying to? Oh, GSP. So Grand Rapids to, what is GSP? I don't know that airport.
Yeah, this is Greer, South Carolina. So that's Greenville.
Oh, yeah.
Have you flown to there?
I've been about everywhere. Who is it who sings that song, I've Been Everywhere? Is that Johnny Cash?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm sure with your experience, you've been flying all over the country. Is it okay to ask how many hours you have logged?
Yes. I will guess. I haven't totaled my logbook in a while, but it's over 8,000. I would say about 8,300 probably.
Yeah, that's amazing. And for those who don't know, guys, Corporate Pilot Dad used to be a CFI as well, so you've actually taught students how to fly. Is that right?
That is. I got my CFI in 2000. I was 21 years old, and I instructed for 5 years. Back then, they didn't have the pilot shortage that they have today. Today, a CFI will instruct for, the average is about 14 months, and they're off to the airlines. Back then, that did not happen. Back then, I had instructed I had about 2,000 hours of dual given before I got my current job back in 2005. And I had 2,500 hours total, I think about 1,900, just under 1,900 hours of dual given. And even back then, it was super tough to find a job. I probably sent out 100 resumes and only got answers back from a few people, where I got an actual letter that was actually signed or something showing that an actual human had some interaction.
Sure.
But nowadays, if you can walk, have a medical, and have 12 to 1,500 hours, you can get hired without any real world experience as far as flying outside of flight instructing.
Gotcha.
And
yeah,
it's a lot easier now. Back then you had to instruct, fly charters, build up multi-engine time, and then you could go into the airlines. And today that's not the case.
So it's a great time to get into aviation. I think great time to be a pilot, whether you're flying for charters operation or flying biz jets or airliners or whatever you're flying. I think it's very well, as far as I know, anyways, from what I've heard, is a good time. Like you've mentioned, it's easier to get into it.
Yeah, it is a good time to get into it. Regional airlines are just throwing money at people for sign-on bonuses. I saw one a couple days ago. A friend sent me. PSA Airlines in Dayton, Ohio. They have a sign-on bonus for direct entry captains for $200,000. So you get your regular salary.
Wow.
Plus you get a bonus of $200,000. And that's just crazy.
That's unbelievable.
I interviewed at a regional airline 20 years ago, and back then they didn't give you anything. No sign-on bonuses. Starting pay was about $21,000 a year.
You had to pay them
That's all you got.
to get in. Yeah. No, I hear you. Well, let me. So I got a few questions that I've prepared, and we'll do that at a later time, the full interview. But just a couple of questions here, and some of those came from the Pilot Club members. So question number one here: what got you into aviation?
I've always enjoyed airplanes as a kid. I was probably about 10 or so when I went on my first airplane ride, and I was hooked. I remember I was looking out the window so much that the next day my neck was sore from turning my head and look out the window.
Uh-huh.
And then in high school I got into taking flying lessons, and from there I decided, you know what, I really like this. I want somebody to pay me to do this. So I combined my hobby with a job, and now it became a job. But it's still a fun job. I wouldn't trade it for anything most days.
Absolutely, yeah. And for those who don't know, Tim and I, we've met. What was it? About 3 years ago, or so maybe. I stumbled upon his YouTube channel. Of course, if you guys don't know, the Corporate Pilot Dad does a lot of videos for flight simmers and folks who are passionate about aviation. And so I stumbled upon your videos really when I was learning CJ4 in the Flight Sim 2020, and I found them to be very informative and straightforward and concise and precise and given the information that I was looking for. So, and that's how we started our friendship, and we talk quite often, and obviously the topic of aviation comes up all the time.
Once in
and
a while.
yeah, once in a while we talk about coffee and airplanes, I guess. But well, what I was getting at is, well, I'm not sure what I was getting at, but let me thank you for that answer, and let me ask you the second question. I think we probably have time for one or two more just to test things out. And I lost my notes here. What was my second question? 1 second. I have to find it here. Yep, got it. So, what is your favorite plane to fly, I guess in real life, and what is your favorite plane to fly in the sim? So, favorite plane, both real world and the sim.
Real world, I don't really have a favorite. I just get paid to fly a single type of airplane, and I don't have a choice in the matter. But if I had to pick one of my favorite airplanes that I've ever flown, I would probably say the Cessna 421, and only because that was, in my opinion, that was the first, quote, real airplane that I flew that was somewhat powerful, that could go fast, get up into flight levels, it was pressurized. So I would say probably the Cessna 421, because that's kind of the airplane that gave me my break. It helped me gain multi-engine flight time and single pilot Part 135 experience. So I'll say that airplane, and then in the sim, probably the Cessna 414. It's just because I think it reminds me so much of the 421.
Yeah.
And that airplane is one of the most realistic and best airplanes that money can buy in Flight Simulator. I absolutely love that thing.
I got you. Yeah, when you were talking about the 420, I was thinking about 414. Of course, 414 is a twin engine, right? Versus.
Yeah, the 414 is a twin. The 421, they have the same fuselage.
Mm-hmm.
The Cessna 414 by Flight Simulator has the Ram 4 conversion, which gives it more powerful engines. That airplane is not as heavy as the 421, but the extra power that those engines have gives it about the same amount of performance as the 421 does that I flew.
Got you. Yeah, and I think I do have the 414. I've purchased it, although I don't think I've flown it. Like some folks, I guess you get the hype and you want to try it, but there were so many airplanes coming out for FS 2020 that I haven't really flown. But we do have a few folks who actually do enjoy the 414 in the club, so I certainly I can relate to what you're saying as far as that being a pretty cool airplane to fly. I've gotten into a cockpit of one, not in the real world, in the sim, as I was testing my head tracker, and it felt really good in the cockpit. And of course, I think we've talked about this, you prefer like analog instruments versus the glass.
Both are fine, but to me, I use Flight Simulator. It's like putting on an old pair of pants. You can go back and fly something you used to fly, and it's comforting.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I am with Flight Simulator. Like the CJ4, I've not flown the CJ4 in real life. I have flown the Citation XLS Plus. Very similar airplanes, same avionics, or identical avionics, but I don't fly that airplane a lot because it reminds me of work. I like to fly the airplanes that remind me of when aviation was fun, when I would go and rent an airplane and fly someplace to have lunch and come back when it was affordable. So that's why I enjoy a lot of GA stuff. And I've done streams in the past, and I've had people ask, when are you going to fly airliners? Are you going to fly airliners next? No. They bore me to tears. I can't stand airliners, even though you're flying an Airbus A320 right now. But
I
am excited about some airliners. I know Bluebird Simulations is coming out with a Boeing 757. I do like that airliner. I've always enjoyed the 757, 767. I have friends that fly those in real life, so I am looking forward to that airplane as far as airliners are concerned.
That's amazing, and I totally agree with you. I've tried GA in the sim and really enjoyed sort of the low and slow and enjoying the views.
Yeah, that's what aviation's about. Those airplanes help build aviation and airliners to what we have today.
Absolutely. I wish, Tim, I wish more people flew GA on VATSIM. It's still not as popular as the airliners, but you're 100% correct, and I totally agree with you. It's kind of boring. Once you take off and you're in cruise, there's really not much to do. I guess.
Monitor system is the same as what we do when we fly. We
right.
Take off and we'll hand fly the airplane up to higher altitudes, but once you turn the autopilot on, it's just kind of boring. You just sit and chit chat with the other person you're flying with.
Sure. What's the highest altitude you've taken an airplane in real life?
45,000 feet.
Yeah, that's amazing, right?
Yeah, the airplane I fly now, the Gulfstream G200, it will go there. I've been there in it. It doesn't like to. It's got to be really light, but the Cessna Citations I've flown, they would go up there all day long.
Sure.
But the downside of flying 45,000 feet, if you have explosive decompression, your time of useful consciousness is seconds, like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
You have 5 seconds to get a mask on. And my younger self would go up there and not have any problem with it, but as I've gotten older, I like to take less risks. So even if I could go that high, I probably wouldn't. There's just no point.
Yeah, I understand. I think let's try maybe one more question here. I've started my descent here. I got about 15 minutes until we've reached our destination, but it's really good to hear you live on stream, and we do have a few people listening. So hopefully now that we've tested this and everything seems to be working fine.
Works.
Yeah, we know it works. We can do something longer, and certainly in cruise. And actually, I'm on Unicom here, so there are no controllers, so it really doesn't matter. But sometimes it does get busy for us, and of course you are aware of that. Having been flying in the real world as well. So let me pull up my question again. I keep losing my list here of questions. I actually do have quite a few, so we'll definitely have enough to do a full segment next time and let people know, or let people experience, or let you share your experiences and let people learn from that as well. But
definitely hope, and hopefully it doesn't take another 2 years.
Yeah, well, I think we're both busy and certainly been trying to do this, and I love doing this, And I know you were on Sky Blue Radio a few times, and let me mention the podcast, of course. Maybe that would be a good ending question here, is that you've gotten into podcasting about aviation and stuff with your friend Rob. Would you share some thoughts on that and let us know a little bit about that?
Definitely. So, Rob is a corporate pilot from Canada. He flies Challenger 605, Challenger 650. And we found each other on one of his TikTok videos. And then we started talking. And then he had mentioned that he had a podcast at one point. And I said, well, I had a podcast at one point. But we had both quit. So let's do another one. He goes, yeah, let's do it. So we did. We decided to make a podcast. And we did a few episodes and some interviews with people that, like, one of them was a former school teacher. She was a math teacher and became a pilot. At the time, she was a CFI, and interviewed her. We interviewed an air traffic controller. And we didn't work at it real hard. And then last summer, we decided, you know what, let's make a go of this. Let's do a podcast every 2 weeks. So we've done a podcast every 2 weeks since June. And I think we're up to about 21 episodes now. And we just talk about real world aviation. We do talk about flight simulation some, but the podcast is called The Corporate Pilot Guys Podcast. And we talk about flight training, corporate jets. We've talked just recently about aircraft systems, about aircraft pressurization. So we're really just talking about everything aviation, from learning to fly up to flying for a living.
That's amazing, and I think it's really good and really awesome that you guys do this, to be able to share your experiences and talk to folks who are also passionate about aviation. And of course, as it applies to let's say folks who are into flight sim, it gives them an insight into, you know, real world operations, and what you guys been doing with the podcast is fantastic. So we'll have some.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
When we started it, we thought, well, probably our core audience is going to be flight simulation people and people learning to fly, but it's not.
Yeah.
I had we got a message from somebody the other day who is a corporate pilot. So we're getting people that are wanting to learn to fly, that are wanting to change careers.
Sure.
They've asked questions about that, all the way up to people that are corporate pilots, which is kind of a surprise.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, the experiences that you guys share, obviously, with your number of years in aviation and experiences that you've had, people value that, I think, in that community, anyways, and so that is important to them to be able to, I guess, to get that information, and the things that you guys share in the podcast. That's great. But I think from our angle here at the Pilot Club, I always try to push folks to kind of have more realism as they do the flight sim. I mean, you can fly these airplane in external view and have fun and do barrel rolls and this and that, and that's fine. But it's also
funny story about
yeah.
external view.
Uh-huh.
I have 3 kids. My youngest is 6, and once in a while he'll play flight simulator with me. He always wants to fly from the external view, and I don't let him. And I tell him, when
Nice.
we fly real airplanes, we don't fly like that. We sit up in the cockpit, and I make him fly from the cockpit.
That's fantastic. No, I love that. I've come across a few YouTube channels where, you know, it's really gamers who do that, and they would fly an external view, and it's kind of a poop show. I don't know if I can say that on.
Yeah, if
yeah.
I see a video that has an external view and it has the default gauges in the corners,
Right.
I automatically close it. If this is a
Same.
game, I turned all that stuff off, because if I ever use an external view in a video, I don't want those gauges floating around the screen. It ruins the
Immersion.
quote. It ruins the shot. Yeah.
Sure. No, I hear you, and I feel the same way. So very quickly, wanted to mention here Ron Wilson, who is a Pilot Club member here, dropped a comment here. I don't know if you saw. He says,
Go GA or business
or
jet.
bus or business jet, yeah. So I think you'll find that a lot of folks in the Pilot Club, and now we have 3,600 members. Of course, are tuning into your videos about aviation and operation of specific aircrafts. Some of the things that you've done on procedures are also very important, because there's so much information floating out there, and a lot of it is not correct. Yeah.
That is correct. Yeah, there's a lot of bad information, and I won't mention names, but I saw one YouTube channel that did a walk around style video of a small GA airplane, and there was so much wrong information. I mean, it was pitiful to watch, and they tagged it as educational and training, and this is wrong. This should not be that. They're trying to get views, and they had no clue what they were doing. They had read a book and then went and made the video. Like, no, you can't do this stuff from reading a book. Yeah,
right.
It's flight simulation. If you want to do that, that's fine, but just let people know, hey, this is not training. This is not educational.
Sure.
This is just fun. This may not be accurate, but when they start tagging videos like that, that kind of gets on my nerves. Because my fear is somebody learning to fly, or somebody that wants to learn to fly, will go and watch that and think that's how it is, and it's totally wrong.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that do that. There's a lot of people that get into aviation because of Microsoft Flight Simulator. And I have the belief that if you're making a video that somebody's going to watch, make it as accurate as you possibly can. But I have a pretty high standard on this stuff. I try to make it the same as if I was teaching a student back in the day.
Sure.
That topic that's in the video. I try to make it as accurate as possible. And being a professional pilot, people see that just from the channel name. And if I make a mistake, other pilots will call me out on it, and they have, and I have made mistakes. There's been times I've messed up something in a video, and I have to go back and take it down and fix it and re-upload it, and I do that when it's something big.
Yeah, I can certainly second that you do have very high standards for your videos, and I think that's what attracts people to those videos. You put your heart and soul into them, you put the energy and the time, and it shows in the videos. And I know we've
the bad part is YouTube, though. They push videos that have engagement. So if you have a video with mistakes, people will comment. Well,
right.
Those comments drive engagement. The YouTube views will go up. But if there's no mistakes, nobody will say a word, and that video just falls flat. And that's unfortunately what a lot of mine will do.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you this: the Pilot Club community appreciates your videos, appreciates your contributions to both the aviation community as a whole and the flight sim community specifically, and we hope you will continue to push that content out that people can learn from and apply those concepts in the sim. Tim, I want to thank you for popping in. I know you need to go back to the cabin, right? You're flying on this flight. We don't want to keep you any longer. We're passing 10,000 now, coming in to Greer, South Carolina. So thank you very much for joining again, and I look forward to chatting with you again, and certainly chatting with you on live on stream.
Definitely, and we'll have to get that interview done sooner rather than later. You have to have a longer flight where we have time.
Agree. We'll plan something for sure. All right. Well, thank you very much. Yep, we'll chat later. Let me go ahead and do what we need to do here with our audio. That was a nice surprise for the corporate pilot dad to come in and give us his thoughts and answer a few questions. We didn't prepare this at all. This was completely unrehearsed and unplanned. We talked about doing an interview for several years now, and we'll do a full interview, I think, later on to where we have a longer flight and cruise and can really spend some time and get a glimpse into the corporate pilot dad's way of thinking and his philosophies about things, and probably learn some things from him as well. So that is what we're gonna do. All right, guys, let's get back into the flight here. If you're just joining the stream, we're finishing up our flight to Greer, South Carolina, in an Airbus A320neo. All right, let's see here. Corporate Pilot Dad says, next time I will ask you questions about the cat on your hat and that bicycle in the background. I'm into biking, but cats not so much. Yep, I'm into mountain biking, and yeah, I have a couple of mountain bikes. The one behind me is a current build. It's not finished, so we will be finishing that up sometime before spring, before the season starts. But yeah, absolutely, we'll talk about hobbies other than flight sim, and of course, and yep, the cat on my hat is our cat Pumpkin. Here's our first officer. Not very useful though, just sitting there in the chair. But thanks, Tim, for popping in again. Appreciate it. Yes, Mike, the Corporate Pilot Dad is a real-world pilot. He is a friend of the Pilot Club and my friend as well, and he's been a big supporter of the Pilot Club over the last 3 years. He is a real-world pilot flying business jets. Very neat. He's got a lot of stories, believe me. Alright, so we're coming in, we're passing 7,500 now. Still no ATC, about 20 miles from destination, so let's see what we're going to do here. So we've updated our weather while we were talking to the Corporate Pilot Dad, and let's see here, we're coming to 7,000, it's an expected restriction, but we made it permanent, or made it a hard restriction rather. So we're doing that there, and then essentially our next fix is our last fix on Mon or Unmon, after which we'll go into heading mode and fly vectors to intercept final approach course. Everything's looking good. We got our seatbelt signs on, landing lights on. Again, the weather's pretty good. We do have some gusts here, gusting 25, so we'll see how we do that landing. Mike, you always show up at the right time, man. You show up just for the good part. Not to say that the cruise was not good, because we had our friend pop in, but it's usually pretty boring in cruise, so we either chat on stream with people, or I go chat with cabin crew and leave you guys with some breathtaking views, such as this one. Look at that. Let's go to this camera here. Yep, got those fall colors or winter colors, whatever you want to call it. Yep, looking real nice. Alright, so we're looking good here. Again, after Unmon, we'll go into heading mode. We'll vector ourselves in to kind of be on the downwind for 04, and then make left base and then left final. We're going to be on ILS 04. Let's go ahead and confirm the frequency here, 109er 3. So we go to RadNav 109er 3. Our final approach course is 38, and the slope is 3 degrees. Everything checks out. Let's take a look at our missed approach directions here. So we will climb to 3,000, then right turn direct Spartansburg Vortac and hold. So let's see here. So we would be runway heading, and then right turn to SPA. So we'll put SPA here since we don't have it supported in the fly-by-wire A320neo. So here it is, SPA, so at least we'll have the visual here. We'll punch that fix in the box. Let's see here, we'll make the right turn here, just chatting away. We're at 4,000. Let's go slow down a little bit. Let's see, 1 second. Yep, so that should put us on a good downwind track here. what was I saying? Well, I forgot. Let's activate the landing system. Oh yeah, so Spartansburg VOR is where we would be for a hold if we do a missed approach, so we're ready for that.
2,500.
All right, let's go to 20. Yeah, we're coming in kind of low here. Probably should have stayed a little higher. Greg, how you doing, sir? You are here just at the right time. We're gonna pop in, or we're gonna pop in. We're gonna arrive at our destination at Greer, South Carolina. Let's go to our EFB. We'll get our chart for the approach. All right, here it is. It's also a good time now to take a look at our airport. So we're landing 4, so we'll exit right, and we'll see if we can exit on, it's probably going to be Gulf is what I'm suspecting right here, and then we'll taxi on Lima, and then Lima 4 to the terminal, or Lima 3, one of those. All right, so we're approaching 3,000, which was our bottom altitude for Maldi, I think it was. Let me see here on the approach plate. No, it's supposed to be, yep, Maldi. That's all right. Yep, we can do that. Let's see here. Yep, we can intercept at Maldi. Stay at 3,000. As you can see, as we're passing Maldi here, that intercept is at 2,300. Our diamond is going up, so once it's a little bit higher, we'll make our turn and intercept. Probably should make the call here. Greenville traffic, Airbus Pilot Club 6 is about 8 miles to the west of the field on the downwind 404. We'll make left base shortly at 3,000 and then join the ILS 4 Greenville. And also we need to test something for Greg, I think, with full flaps. We'll see if we can extend the spoilers or speed brakes. All right, we'll make our left base here.
Class altitude 1.4 miles.
We'll slow down to 210. And we'll go flaps 1. Let's go 200. And now we're gonna go direct Maldi.
Charlie 1.4 miles.
We'll arm the localizer. Let's go 180. Alright, we have the airfield in sight. Let's go flaps 2. go to performance here. We already got our approach phase activated. All right. There we go. So here's our glide slope here coming in. We have glide slope armed, localizer armed. Stay at 3,000 here. And we'll start slowing down now. So flaps 2 right now. And let's see here. For Greg, we're flaps 2. And as you can see, I can certainly operate the speed brake. All right, see it's animated and moving. All right, we go flaps 3. And flaps full. So we're now full flaps. Flaps coming out to full. Yep, and you are right. We are unable to use the speed brakes. Yep, at full flaps. So that should be good. What happened to the glide slope? We didn't capture it. All right, let's go ahead and capture it. All right, we got the localizer, and we got the glide slope. Oof. All right, we'll dial in our 3,000 missed approach altitude. Remote MCDU, yeah, I already got too many tablets. All right, so we're gonna go lens and gear, and we need to do a cabin check. Or cabin call, all right, landing memo no blue. See, perfect, okay, we just tested, yes, speed brakes are inhibited in full flaps, so we've armed them. But you see they were moving though at flaps 3. All right, let me go to our airport here. We don't need the camera, we don't need the iPad. Let's do the landing. All right, gents, here we are. Let's see what kind of rate we get. Speed brake low, spoilers armed. Yep, we do have a little bit of gusts here, I'm feeling, okay. All right, little stutters on final, as expected, but should straighten out now. I don't want to have them too close to the runway. All right, on the glide. Autopilot off. Yeah, I feel the gusts. Okay, getting back on the glide. I'm getting blown off a little bit here.
Minimum
Continue.
200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. 10. 5.
Reverse green. Manual braking. Yeah, we're light, so no issues here. Oh, cool. We can take echo here. take this high-speed echo. And we'll go to the terminal. Let's see here. Yep, there's the terminal right there. Greenville traffic. Airbus Pilot Club 6, clear of 04, taxiing to the terminal via Echo Lima 4. Last call, Greenville. Alright, let's see. We need to go right here. We'll clean up the aircraft a little bit. Pardon my sloppy taxi here. And we'll start our APU. Turn the lights off. Taxi light on. We didn't turn it on when we're supposed to. Alright, let's see. Do we have any ground services here? Yeah, I don't see any. So let's try this one. All right. Even though there's a vehicle here. Oh, I see something here. There's an aircraft there, though. Okay. Turn the radar off. And we'll stop here. All right. Let's see what we got. Soft landing, 225. We will take it. Alright, we have external power available. We'll connect that. We'll turn engine 1 and 2 off. APU off. Alright, we are good with that. My checklist use. I do have my checklists here actually. Let me show you. That's for Phoenix, but let's do our parking shutdown list checklist.
Parking brakes.
On.
Thrust levers.
Idle.
Ground contact.
Established.
Ground operations.
As required.
Electrical power.
Established.
Engine mass 1 and 2.
Off.
Parking brakes.
They're fine.
Nav lights.
Let's do the lights here. Nav lights off.
Exterior lights.
Off.
Anti-ice.
Off.
Passenger signs.
Off.
Doors.
Open.
Flight director.
Off.
APU bleed.
Off.
Fuel pumps.
Off.
Beacon.
Off.
Ecom status.
Normal.
Panel lights.
We're fine there.
Adheres.
We'll leave them on.
Avionics.
We'll leave them on as well.
No smoking sign.
We'll leave that on.
APU.
Off.
Batteries.
Off.
Checklist complete.
Or on. Are they on? Let me look. Yep, on. Yep, so we're good with that. So here's the checklist. Yeah, I should use more of a checklist, I suppose. Just kind of going by memory, but let's see here. Let me put this iPad here so we can debrief. So jump in the cockpit here for debriefing. All right, so we started here in Grand Rapids. Left turn, direct first fix. Reached our cruise altitude of 37,000 feet. No problems there. Came in on Rector 2 arrival. Vectored ourselves in for an ILS 4. And then we came in here. Exited on Echo and came in via Lima 4 to the terminal. Here we are. So that is good. Thank you guys for joining the stream. Really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the flight. Looks like everybody's been deboarded. Yep, and we debriefed and we are good to go. Here, yep, got the services done. Very cool. Aircraft cleaned up. So thank you for joining the stream. Let me look at some of the comments here. There's a lot of comments from Greg, even though I was landing. Come on, Greg. All right, non-standard ops. All right, if the speed brakes are retracted due to inhibition such as flaps at full, you need to set the lever to retract it and wait 10 seconds. All right. Need another tablet. Yep. Okay, correct behavior. Yep, we checked that. Yeah, there are actually checklists in the flypad as well. Correct. Here they are. But they're kind of abbreviated. So I do prefer my for-flight checklists. So here's parking checklist. I mean, it's very abbreviated here. Just to get you the essentials or the basics here. Yep, I use for-flight for checklists. Right, yep, okay, yep, exactly. Yeah, you want to have something more robust as far as checklists. Okay, let's see here. So we'll go ahead and disconnect from VATSIM. Let me disconnect from my iPad. We don't need that anymore. And I think that's it, guys. Again, thank you for joining us on this flight. I may do another one later on. Now it's need to go get some lunch, but it was great for you to tune in. Thank you to the Corporate Pilot Dad for stopping by. We'll do another interview sooner rather than later. And we'll see you guys next time. Wait, I gotta respond to this comment. Greg says, testing your sterile cockpit discipline. Yeah, yeah, I mean, there are always things to improve, certainly. But I think we did okay. I certainly am happy about the rate that we got. Oh, by the way, we didn't, yeah, here it is. Let me take a screenshot here. 225, we'll take it. It's a great rate. Here's our crew here. Sophia and Maya were cabin crew. I was the captain. Patrick was the first officer. Yep, we did well. We did good. I'll make sure I get that flight registered here, and we'll exit that. All right, Greg, thanks for your comments, and thank you guys for joining. We'll see you guys later. Stay tuned for a ping if you're not subscribed to TPC YouTube channel. Subscribe and like it. We're trying to grow the channel and spread the news about the Pilot Club in the community. So we'll see you later.